that I had to work for love and that I didn't measure up.
Yeah. Well, where does mine come from?
Just being super, super messed up.
Wow. Okay. What does it have to do with anything?
Ooh, I got a good question of the day. You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Where does contentment come from?
Gratitude.
Ooh, that was really quick off the rip there. Contentment comes from gratitude.
Being thankful for what you have.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. All right, folks, we'll see you later.
Wow.
So you think that if you get into a season to where you're not content with things or positions of life that you're in or whatever it is, you think all of that can be changed with gratitude?
Yeah, you can change your perspective on how you're grateful for the stuff that you have, and it'll change everything.
Wow.
If you're thankful for what you have, then why would you want more?
Can you have... I agree, 100%. I do. I agree. If you have an attitude of gratitude, sorry, I really didn't mean that. But if your attitude is thankful, it's hard to get to a place to where you're not content. Here's my question. Can you have both? Not discontentment, but can you have gratitude, but also a desire for more?
Yeah, but I think your heart would be in a different place. Like, it would be a different kind of want more. You know what I mean?
No, explain.
I don't know. I think you can still want things and still be grateful for what you have, but you're not going to have an ungrateful heart behind it. You know what I mean? Like, you're...
Yeah, well, no, I'm not talking about an ungrateful heart. I'm saying, can you be thankful and want more at the same time? Can you be content and still want more at the same time? Because what I'm thinking of is not necessarily things, like material things. What I'm thinking of is, can you be content in business, content in relationship, content in fatherhood, and still want more?
Yeah.
Like, do you think there's ever a time to where I'm very thankful for what I have, but almost a healthy discontentment? Do you think there's such thing as that? You want an example?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you content in our marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. So
But do I want more? Yeah.
I was about to say, so should we have to work any harder? We're done.
No, I don't think that contentment, I don't think you should ever be where you're content but not growing.
Yeah. So where do you go with that? So I'm discontent, a healthy discontentment. Like, where can we go from there? Because I feel like there's definitely an unhealthy discontentment, which, if you don't know, that's been our private conversations that you are not a part of lately, is why are we so unhealthily discontent with the things that we have? Because we have a lot of nice things, but yet we still feel ourselves like what do you call that, consumerism? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I want this, and oh, I want this, and spending money we don't have to spend and things like that. And it's like an unhealthy discontentment when we have perfectly good, nice things. We don't need the things that we're wanting. So that's kind of what's going on behind the scenes that you guys haven't seen. But so how do you build, grow, how do you manage a healthy discontentment? How do you wake up saying, if I don't progress any further, let's do relationship with God, because I think that's a good one. I don't think we should ever be content with our relationship with God. I don't think we should ever be a place to where we're just like, I'm happy. Oh, so good, isn't it? Like, it's such a hard question, because I feel like that we should always wake up and be so happy with where we are, but also want to be so much more intimate and so much more knowledgeable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how do you cultivate that? Where do you go with that? So how do you not get to the end of the day and be like, wow, I didn't progress any, but still feel like, man, I'm so happy with where I'm at, and not let the fact that you didn't progress or you didn't get anywhere weigh you down, but still wake up tomorrow and still want to push further, but still also at the same time be completely content with where you are. You get what, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Isn't that a good question?
Do you have the answer for that?
No, I don't
Okay.
have an answer for that. Because in my personal life, that attitude, that thing tries to breed condemnation for me.
Yeah.
In my life, I try to not think about progressing. I try to think you're perfectly good where you are, even though I know I'm not. Like, I know I need to constantly improve. I try not to think about it. Ooh, I think I found the answer. Like, well, maybe not. I don't know. Because the things that I want to progress in and the things that I see that I feel like need progression just come naturally out of relationship.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't think I need to progress, just think relationship.
Yeah.
It's like with me, but the question keeps getting tangled up, because then when I think about me and you, and I'm like, oh, it's just relationship, Yeah, but we have to work at relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't God. Like, we can't just be like, oh, it'll come, just relationship. No, we have to work. We have to work for our quiet time. We have to work for date nights. We have to work for communication. But one of us is not God. So you think that makes a difference?
I don't really think so. I don't think it makes a difference. I think it's the same thing. Because you're still having to work.
You're talking about a relationship with God or in our
A
relationship?
relationship with God.
Yeah, I do. I think it takes yielding. Like, I think when you say work, I think the work is yielding.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? What do you think? Because you wake up every day and you want to progress further with God and you want to, quote unquote, put in the work. But yet also you don't want to get to the end of the day and feel like a bag of trash because you feel like you didn't get anywhere with God. But yet God's never unsatisfied with where you at right now today. Like, right now today, he couldn't be any more happy or pleased with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you live in that and also have a healthy discontentment at the same time? How do you not get lazy? I think that would be a better way of phrasing it. How do you not get lazy with it? Like, well, God's happy with me, we're good,
I don't know, because I know I get lazy with it because I use that to my advantage, knowing that God is happy with me no matter what.
It makes me laugh how different we are in relationship with God, because you use that to your advantage, and you rely on God too much. That's the wrong statement. Like, you can't rely on God too much, but you feel like you almost take advantage of the goodness of God.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I take advantage of my works.
Yeah.
Like, everything with you is based off the goodness of God. Everything with me is based off of how good I can be.
Yeah.
And you almost take advantage of that, and I take zero advantage of it. I take no advantage of the fact of Jesus's blood and living through that, and you take too much advantage of it and get lazy with it, and that's really funny.
We're opposite in
We
many
are.
ways.
So how do we find the middle ground?
I don't know.
You want to just switch for a little while?
No. I don't want to be in your head.
What? Why?
Because your head is complicated. It is.
We'll be right back. We're going to go to a word from our sponsors. How am I complicated? Why do I don't make things complicated.
You do make everything complicated.
Even this question, see, it's super simple.
It's not, because my mind is spinning right now. Because I can't even comprehend everything that you're saying.
How do you make sure you stay content? You do it with gratitude. How do you breed a healthy discontentment with also staying in a heart full of gratitude but not getting lazy? And also, how is it okay to be discontent with your relationship, or should you always just be content? It's so simple. Why can't you just answer the question?
Because my head feels like it's going to explode.
Well, I would like to say, on the record, Shauna, welcome to my life.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't want to be in your head.
I didn't ask to be this smart, Shauna. I didn't ask to be this philosophical, okay?
Then why don't you have the answers if you're that smart and
My
philosophical?
blessing is a curse, Shauna. I don't know. I will always default to that very thing that you're saying right there, which is I tend to make it way more complicated.
Yeah.
And it's simply relationship. So if I wake up every day and I pursue nothing but his love and relationship with him, everything else will flow out of that.
Yeah.
So even ministry, my heart of gratitude, like my disposition on life, like my, perspective on life, like everything will come from that right there. Like it'll always be healthy if I'm focused on him. So even, like I think that even the whole question of growth and being discontent in areas, like a healthy discontentment, not being lazy with things and wanting to grow and change, and praise God I'm not where I used to be. That's Joyce Meyer, right? Like praise God I'm not where I used to be. I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. Like that right there, I think even that would come out of pursuing God and relationship with God. So that's what I default to. Like God will tell you when you're being lazy. Like you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your spirit. You'll feel it in your heart. So yeah, no, I don't have the answer, but that's what I default to. You think it's good?
Yeah. I mean, I default to the opposite, so.
What's the opposite?
Just being lazy.
Yeah.
And relying on his goodness too much.
How long do you want this to be? Because we can backtrack both of those things, right? Like, because I can definitely backtrack my attitude of always having to work for it, because I've grown up with a heart of feeling like that I didn't
work for love.
That I had to work for love and that I didn't measure up.
Yeah. Well, where does mine come from?
Just being super, super messed up.
Wow. Okay. What does it have to do with anything? Is that the way you really want to go?
Okay. What's the question? I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
What does it have to do with anything about me being messed up? What does it have to do with anything about me being messed up?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
You stink so bad at this.
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know. So, anyway, it wasn't he whispering too?
Yeah.
Car handle rig.
Can you speak up, Ricky?
A car.
And that guy kept like.
We were real happy with what was going on, and at the end of the day, you got to be happy.
It's thunder.
What does what have to do with
Me being
anything?
messed up. What does that have to do with anything?
First, I don't think you're messed up at all. Second, I think that we can let our history dictate that, but I think that you don't know intimacy and you run from intimacy. Intimacy makes you uncomfortable. You don't understand true intimacy. You understand the facade of intimacy. Like, this is what intimacy looks like, but you don't really understand it. So that way, if you feel like, well, I'm accepted, then I don't need to do anything. Like, I've got intimacy, now I'm good. As long as I have that, but to pursue that in greater depths, I think scares you.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
No, neither did you.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wow. That came out of nowhere, too. That wasn't scripted, because I wasn't even thinking about that, but I'm thinking, why does she do that? I don't know. She's just scared of intimacy is what it is. I'm like, oh, my God. Did we just answer a lot of marriage questions by accident? Did this turn into marriage counseling? So anyway, if you find yourself... One more second. Oh, she threw her applesauce on the ground. If you find yourself being discontent, have a heart full of gratitude. Is that it? Is that all we got?
I think so.
Okay.